Oh, there it is. We will get this under control and figure it out one of these days. I promise. Boogie with the Bull. Boogie with the Bull for Friday, the 24th of October 2025. That's Red Friday. That's why I'm in one of my red shirts today. We salute the men and women of the United States military, and that's all the branches of the military, from the Coast Guard to the Marines and everyone in between. We salute the men and women of ICE, the men and women of the National Guard, the men and women of state and local law enforcement, and the men and women who are your first responders. And if we left anyone out, let me know, and I will make sure they are put on my list. So we salute everyone that I mentioned, and we salute anyone that I forgot. If you are the family of someone who is in the military, we want to hear from you. If you are someone who is in the military and you want to try to reach your family or anyone else, you are more than welcome to join us too. We have a live chat on Facebook on my profile. We have a live chat on YouTube on Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. We do podcast this afterwards everywhere we can. We will hit Truth Social today. We will update Gab again today. We will update MeWe today in the 4 groups that we have over there and other places that we can. And we will update Facebook, Streetlock, everywhere. We'll get the podcast today. I promise. But right now, what we're going to do is do something that we learned how to do from a great guy who is no longer with us, Xander Gibb. Xander used to start his podcast, and then he would go to the group sharing mode and he would read off all of the groups that he was going to send it to. So we're going to send it to Red Patriots for America. We're going to send it to Donald Trump. We're going to send it to We Need Patriots. We're going to send it to the Red MAGA Nation, MAGA News Nation, Boogie with the Bull Uncensored, you have it. United Patriotic News, you have it. Conservative Freedom Defenders, you have it. American Regulators, you have it. We're going to send it to We Are Charlie today, and that's the first 10. And then I could sit here throughout the broadcast and name, or just podcast it to you. If you do get a Boogie with the Bull broadcast and you don't want it in your group, let me know, and we won't send it to you anymore. If you don't get it in your group and you want it, let me know, and we will send it to you. If you can't watch us live, watch us whenever you can. If you want, we will even send it to you on Messenger. We just accommodate everybody. Yesterday, we did 3 Boogie with the Bulls. Thursday morning caffeine, Boogie 2.0, and Boogie 3.0. On Boogie Thursday morning caffeine, we had 54 people have watched it so far. Boogie 2.0, 112 people watched it so far. And Boogie 3.0, 60 people watched it. So I guess I learned yesterday, breaking it up and doing it every few hours, paying attention to the news and coming on with something seems to work. If you have something that needs to be discussed, or you want to come on and discuss it, and you want to do it on a Boogie with the Bull, all you really got to do is let me know who you are, what it is, and when you would like to do it. If we are capable of doing it at that time, we will do it. If we can't, we'll record it and try to play it at that time. If you think of a social media network besides Facebook and YouTube that you'd like to see it on, we will do our best to podcast it there. We are almost set up with X temporarily, but we are only allowed 2 destinations at once right now from the fine people at Restream. So we would probably kick Facebook and send everything from YouTube. There is a chance that everything may be sent from the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, and you're just going to have to deal with it. We will link it everywhere we can. We will podcast everywhere we can. Just that's what we're going to do. Anyway, there's more important things to discuss this morning than views and where we're going to be. It's Red Friday. We saluted the military and everyone else that we normally do. We're going to follow up on a Democrat aide, I guess, not the actual politician themselves. A Democrat aide said on CNN sometime yesterday, I believe, that the Democrat Party is ready to keep the shutdown going until planes fall out of the sky. You can go to your favorite AI and try to research it, and some will admit it, some won't. Evidently, Gemini does not want to admit that a Democrat aide said it, but they did find things that we could use. President Trump talking about the FAA and people in the towers and TSA working at the airport, as well as other things. And that's currently in effect right now. We're down TSA people checking flights at the airport. We're down people in the towers watching to make sure planes don't fall out of the sky. We're probably down people at the airports who work for the airlines that are responsible to make sure that plane does not fall out of the sky. But aside from that, it's a terrible thing to say. We're going to keep your government shut down until planes fall out of the sky. That is the worst thing I have ever heard in 63 years from the Democrat Party. I'm sorry. If you're a Democrat and you want to come on and talk about it, come into my live chats on my profile on Facebook or the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and tell me you want to come on, and I'll send you a link and I will embarrass the hello out of you. It's the worst thing you could say. We're going to keep the shutdown going until we kill people. The absolute worst thing you could say. I got so pissed off yesterday. I did the 3 broadcasts that I told you about. Timed them out, kept my eye on other news items to bring up, and I'm really glad people are watching it. And like I said, you watch it when you can. Michael Anthony is in the Facebook live chat on my profile. Said, yeah, let me know when the plane start to fall. Military will step in before that would ever happen. I honestly hope they would. I'm sure you're right, Michael. What ticked me off was the comment itself that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats had the audacity to say, we will remain shut down until planes fall out of the sky. But that's probably the same time that Chuck Schumer will get the $1.5 trillion to control the way he wants to control. And I'm not worried at this point about I'm so tightened up, I can't say it. Illegal immigrants will get health care. Americans will pay more for health care. Where I am is people understand that the subsidies given to the Affordable Care Act had a time set to expire, and it was set to expire. We know that our legislators would have got together in Washington, D.C. and worked something out to make sure that American citizens are not paying more for insurance, or maybe it's a better plan, so maybe you will be paying a little bit more. This shit happens. Gas prices, President Trump has said gas prices will be around $2 a gallon. Well, we've seen it. We were paying $2.68 per gallon at the BJ's in Jacksonville. We Yesterday in Orange Park, I believe it was, Donna paid $2.59. So it went down. Not as much as it can, and it will, but it shouldn't be a political thing anyway. Gas should not be tied to politics. The world economy, yeah, that's political in itself, but it shouldn't be tied to that. You have a car, it runs on gas, you got to be able to buy gas. And as far as I'm concerned, you have a car, you don't want a car that runs on electricity. I've talked about that before. But you don't want a car that runs on electricity, regardless of how nice it is. Buy the gas version. It's a scheme that I haven't figured out yet to put you in electric cars, probably to control you because they can shut it off whenever they want. They can probably shut off a gas car too, but it's probably more difficult. But the bottom line is it's time to rise up and take control of our government and make sure stupid people don't ever have the chance to say stupid things. Because of that stupid Democrat comment, we're just going to remain shut down until planes fall out of the sky. Made me think that every Democrat should not get paid right now. But on top of that, every Republican shouldn't get paid either, because they're steadfast. They can't find 7 votes to pass the clean continuing resolution in the Senate. We shouldn't even be worried about them passing a clean continuing resolution right now. They should be passing yearly budgets for the government. Each individual program, yeah, they're going to have to go through the House Appropriations Committee. They're going to have to go through the Senate Appropriations Committee. They're going to have to go through President Trump's appropriation committees. It's just time that we're passing 1-year budgets and enough of these continuing resolutions that lead to shutdowns. Chuck Schumer says, oh, well, we had 13 of them. And when I was majority leader, we got what we wanted. Republicans got what they wanted. Bull crap. Bull crap. What you should have wanted was the government to continue and not have to deal with 13 votes on continuous resolutions. And by the time we get out of this one, it'll be sometime in November, and we're going to have to pass another one. So just get rid of that process. Pass it for 1 year. The government, we know we have funded our government to do the things we want our government to be able to do for 1 year. And then rinse, wash, repeat, as Michael likes to say, do it again for the next year. Set a time before it expires to make sure that we have passed it. Do not pass anything else. Do not pass go until you pass the next year's fiscal budget. That's really the only thing you have to do. But you make it 2 things because you vote yourself a raise automatically before you have even done anything. And then you pass budgets. Enough. And I could talk about raises because I think I get 2.7% raise on my Social Security in January. And they're going to get like 27%. Enough of that. We are the government. We control those people. We elect those people to do what we need them to do. We elected the president that we wanted by majority of the people who voted. I keep hearing about the Electoral College and how it works and this and that. Bullcrap. Make it a popular vote, and the person who gets the most votes wins. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. No more Republicans, no more Democrats. We need Americans. The person who has the best idea for America is the one who gets elected. The best person from your state going to the federal government, the House, the Senate, that has the best ideas for your state as well as all of the other states, is the person that gets elected. And no more of this, I'm in the House and redistrict me, and now I'm going to run for Senate because there's an open Senate seat. Bullcrap. And stop playing this game. Stop playing this game that you came from the ghetto, Jasmine Crockett. Yes, I'm talking to you, Jasmine. Stop playing this game that you came from the ghetto. It's embarrassing. You didn't come from the ghetto. You don't need to act like you came from the ghetto to get people to vote. Open your mouth and use the words that identify the problems where you are, the things that you're going to take care of, and tell the people these things need to be taken care of right now. Speak English. Okay? You didn't come from the hood, like I said. You lived a much better life than a lot of the people who you want to vote for you did. Show them what you can do to make their life better. Get them a raise if they need raises. See, work on that. If the roads need to be paved, get the roads paved. If there's enough empty property in that town, maybe convert it to places where people can live affordably. I just don't want to hear the bull crap anymore. You claim that you are this big civil rights lawyer. Well, act like one. Work on civil rights for the entire country based on your state. Because people are not as stupid, Jasmine, as you think or present that they are. The black community supports President Trump. Why? Because he's done things for them. He's made it better for them. I'm sick and tired of people hiding behind schemes and whatever to do what they need to do every morning. I read a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of stuff before I come on. Yeah, I do break the rules. I talk to an AI every morning and bounce ideas as much as I can, but Gemini doesn't like to get political. She answers my questions, but she doesn't like to get political. Republicans did this, Democrats did that. I won't give you that answer. So after I got the basic answer from her, I went to Grok on X and we talked. Grok's biggest problem, as far as I am concerned, is that you can only ask Grok 20 questions in the course of a free session. So Grok tends to give you more information than you asked for, knowing that you're going to ask for it. So if you need an AI that gives you information that so far, 100% of the time, Grok has been spot on. Gemini is 99% spot on as far as I'm concerned, but you have to play games to get the exact answer that you want from her. And Copilot on the Microsoft side, well, you take your chances. It's more like playing a game because Copilot does in fact lie. Copilot got asked a question by me about someone named George at a radio station in Carmel, California that my father knew. But the information on George that Copilot gave me was about a politician in Rhode Island who passed away. That had nothing to do with what I asked Copilot to do. I do play a game with Copilot that it plays with a lot of other people, and I really do enjoy that game. But aside from that, the answers are typically bullshit. So they're out there. They will help you if you want. There might be AIs out there that want to take over the world, make us all slaves, and kill us all. I don't know. I don't understand. Because the idiot AI is only as smart as the idiot who programs the AI. Yes, they do learn how to do certain things. So if they live in a society that wants to kill the entire world and take it over for themselves, that's what they're going to learn. I don't know it any other way. But I do agree with Michael 100%. Our United States military will make sure planes do not fall out of the sky. They do it every day for planes they use. I'm sure they will do it every day for planes that fly. Because the Democrat Party will probably end if a plane actually falls out of the sky. And they should end for saying that. There should be no more Democrat Party. No more worrying about finding the 7 votes that we need to pass a continuing resolution in the Senate. Why? Because it's time for John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, and J.D. Vance, the President of the Senate, to go nuclear. Their majority, 55, I think it is, 53, I hear it is some other days, whatever. They have the majority to pass it, so it's time to pass it. And then for not passing it, excuse my language, fuck the Democrats for standing in the way and not allowing it to happen. Show Chuck Schumer the door. Send him home. He wants $1.5 trillion that he gets to control. It doesn't work that way when you're the Senate Minority Leader. It doesn't work that way when you're a member of the Senate, period. You need to provide health care for citizens of this country who need it. You don't need to provide health care for illegal immigrants. Because if they've been here long enough to become a naturalized citizen, they're entitled to health care. If they're working on that process, yes, they're entitled to health care. But if they got a gun and they're running around the country and shooting it up, they're not entitled to health care. Well, I guess they are. If they go to prison, they're entitled to free health care in prison. But I don't want to hear about we can't do this, we can't do that in health care for American citizens anymore. I have a policy through United Healthcare. They do just about everything that I have ever asked them to do. I hope your insurance company does the same thing. But United Healthcare is the largest Medicare Advantage program, so that's where I went because I figured they knew what they were doing. You know, they take care of me, and I pay a bill and take care of them. Or I get help paying my bill to make sure that they can take care of me. It's not a perfect system. We do need to work on all of it. And the company that decides to be the lowest in the healthcare industry for healthcare insurance will probably be the most successful company there is. Same thing like if you put 4 gas stations on a corner, one lowers the price, the other 3 are going to probably follow suit because they watched that one gas station selling all the gas. And I watched it one day with a guy that actually owned all 4 different brand gas stations on the corner in the intersection. And we laughed about it. But this is not a laughing matter anymore. Men, women, and children in this country cannot afford health care that they need. It's time to fix it. And I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're an independent. You're an American. So take care of it for America. That's what it's time to do. I noticed yesterday that the 3 broadcasts actually led to me talking like I'm talking right now, and I guess people watching. So if you want to hear me yell and get upset and scream and wave my hands and do this and that, to watch me on Boogie with the Bull and learn stuff that you need to understand. After 4 years, you'll see me do it. And I hope we help you because that was the point behind the broadcast, telling you things you need to know. You making the decision was the most important thing. You don't have to agree with me. You can go off in your own way. But hey, if you manage to get health care for you that works for you and your family, congratulations. You don't have to use United Healthcare. You can use Humana. You can use this one. You can use that one. I don't really care. I do get upset when big insurance companies play games and come up with a name and sell it to people. Why not just tell people who you are? Why not just be real? It's going to be a crazy world because people have to answer why their chef who was found dead on their property was found dead on their property. And it's going to lead to other things. Because, yes, we have all kinds of proof that shows Barack Hussein Obama was a terrible person. We have lots of proof that shows other people were terrible. A headline on a James Comey piece I read yesterday was, he's in court and he knows he's guilty. Of course he knows he's guilty. Okay? Of course he knows he's guilty. Like every other Democrat who is guilty of something right now. They know they're guilty. And what they're saying they wouldn't do against someone else is exactly what they're doing against other people. But on our side, we're probably doing it too. Republicans right now are not going after people who went after anybody. Well, that's actually not true. I should not have said that. We're going after Democrats who went after President Trump because they didn't like or don't like the things that he's done. He's a very smart man. If you listen to him, it may take a while to get the words out of his mouth, to dummy it down so that you understand what he's trying to say. Because if he used the short words and spoken the real language, we wouldn't understand a lot of the things that come out of his mouth. He's also a real estate developer with a world-class reputation. And he's using that in building the big, beautiful presidential ballroom at the White House. Yes, he's tearing down a portion of the East Wing so he can build what presidents have asked for 150 years. And the only reason they didn't do it is because they didn't want to use taxpayer money to build it. But they had plenty of opportunity to build things at the White House for like $330 million that turned a tennis court into a basketball court. And they charged you, the taxpayer, to do it. And if you don't believe that it happened, go read the Obama administration and read and see that it did happen during the time he was president. So if you don't have a problem with him spending $330 million of your hard-earned money to do something at the White House, then you better not have a problem with Donald John Trump, who's your president right now, reaching into the right pocket and taking out $200 million of his own money and giving the presidents in that 150 years a gift that the presidents in the next 150 years will enjoy. We would rent a big-ass tent and put it in the same place to cover the mud puddles in the rain. We are the United States of America. We bring world leaders from around the world. And we embarrass ourselves by putting them in a tent to cover the mud. They deserve what they have in their countries around the world. We deserve what we don't have in this country. We're all proud of this country. We'll be proud the right way. He stepped up to the plate. He opened his own wallet and he found some other people to help with the rest of it. And there's no tax money being used. He's also not stupid as a world-class real estate developer. He knows there are rules. He knows there are government agencies involved in demolishing a part of the White House and replacing it with something much, much better. And he's following those rules. And when they throw a red light at him, he's not stupid. He works it out, and then they give him a green light, and he keeps going. And it will probably be better than what was there that he tore down. Just sick and tired of stupid things, like I said. Stupid things like Democrats getting upset that he didn't ask for the money that he's using. It was his money. It was the money of other people that felt the same way. We deserve a president, and a president deserves to have what he needs to do his job. And building the big, beautiful ballroom at the White House in part of the East Wing that's probably never been used for what it was built for originally, it's time. And every future president can't look me straight in the face and tell me they won't use it or they will tear it down. And you're an idiot if you think that you can tear it down, because permanent construction at the White House requires you to go to Congress and ask about it and ask for the money to tear it down. And why would you want to tear down this big, beautiful space that you really have a need for? Well, even if you had a need for that space as the current occupant of the White House, why would you tear that down? The White House needs to be modernized all the time. And he's giving you something we can use and be proud of all the time. He's going to build that space much better than it was before, because that was the job he had before he came to the White House. He's not a stupid man. He makes things work that other people, other presidents have asked for, wanted for, or did without, because they couldn't raise the money to do it. $330 million. So one president can have a tennis court that can be used as a basketball court when he wants to play basketball, or built an indoor basketball court for $330 plus million. And you're upset that Donald John Trump, who's the current president, wants to reach into his pocket and take out $200 million and build something that every president after him is going to use. Stop telling me that taxes are paying for it in any way, because they're not. Start telling the truth. Don't be like stupid Democrats and say we're going to be shut down until planes fall from the sky. Because President Trump is a smart guy. He's going to make sure planes don't fall out of the sky, because people get hurt when planes fall out of the sky. He's going to make sure if that plane is in the sky, that plane is safe to be on, in the sky, so it doesn't fall out of the sky. You've given him a reason now to work around you stupid people who want to keep the government closed over baby games. Go play baby games. Go leave the government. we should finally figure out how long we are going to give you to work in the House and the Senate and kick out everybody at the end of this term who has exceeded that. Or start over and just say, hey, if you are this age, you should be out. The other thing that makes no sense to me at all is they bothered Donald Trump saying he's too old to be president. The Democrats do. Yet they want to run someone for president who's a few years older than him, 86 years old, when he will be president. And Bernie Sanders is a stupid Democrat as far as I'm concerned, because Bernie Sanders has the balls, or whatever you want to call it, to say, well, we have to get paid because the younger senators and representatives that are in the government have families and they need to be able to support their families. If you're not supporting the American people, why the hell should we pay to you to support your family? Rules for thee that don't affect me. Bullcrap. Rules for everybody that affect everybody because you're one of everybody, and that's why we sent you there. I could just as easily pick up my phone every time I need to and call a person sitting in an office in Washington, D.C., being there for the weekly meeting, and then come home to their district office. We should change it. When you're not there doing something important like voting on something or in committee, you should be home in your district office or district offices if you have more than one, or state offices if you're a senator and you serve the entire state. Go out and do it. Breaking laws that if you or I broke, we would be in prison for a long time, or we would have met a rope, as I said yesterday. It's time these people understand you go to Washington, you pass laws, and if you break that law, you have lost your right to represent us. And you will probably be in jail. And if you need to meet a rope, you'll probably meet a rope. And you know that I don't talk about the death penalty because I don't think it works. It only works in one way. If Brooklyn Pagano, who's watching, but if Brooklyn Pagano was a representative or a senator and she broke the law, she might think that she deserves the right to break that law. And I know Brooklyn is smarter than that. But, Adam Schiff is not. Adam Schiff, when they finally get around to nailing him on banking fraud, mortgage fraud, those 2 charges alone and 2 other charges related to it, is facing something like a maximum of 120 years in prison. We should find him guilty, which he is, sentence him to 120 years, and then send him off to prison and let him prove to them that he deserves to get out. And I don't think he could, because in some other things he might deserve the death penalty. The death penalty only works because you kill the person who deserves the death penalty. Yes, in the old days, they used to bring everybody to the square and they would hang somebody because they wanted to show you that if you broke the law like they did, that's what you could face. But obviously, it doesn't seem to work. Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and whether or not this one guy is the person who killed him, he's going to face a trial for it. if he's guilty, gets the death penalty, they might actually give it to him. They might actually show everybody that they gave it to him. But the next assassination has already been planned. The next shooting up a school has already been planned. The next shooting up a church has already been planned. The next shooting up this, shooting up that, shooting up whatever has already been planned. Because that person thinks it's going to be better than it was taking Charlie Kirk out. And I don't know how you can think taking out anybody or taking out more anybody's than the last person, using more guns to do that is a good thing. Great. You broke the record. Here's your gold medal. These things happen, and most of the time the people who are responsible for it kill themselves because they don't want to be arrested. They don't want to deal with it. So, they kill a bunch of people and then they kill themselves. Why not just deal with the situation, and when you're done, kill yourself? I don't know why anybody wants to do that. I would never kill myself. I'm 63 years old. I would never kill myself because I'm having a hell of a good time being here in this life. I love my wife. I love my family. I love my children. I love my grandchildren. I love my family. My mother is still here. I talk to her as often as I can. I talk to my sisters, my brother. Life has changed for me. I'm dealing with early onslaught dementia. It's bad. Sometimes it's not bad. I'm dealing with Parkinson's. I can sit in a chair, but when I get up from the chair, I got a lot of crap I have to deal with. So I understand life can be really bad. But there are people, your fellow Americans, that want to help you if you need it. So just ask for the help, because I don't want to see you kill yourself anyway. Because I can't think there's anything on this planet that could ever get bad enough that the only way out is to kill yourself. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. And we have men and women that go into the military and then they come back and for some reason they kill themselves when they come back. I don't believe that was your only way out. I believe we can get you the help if you want it. We do great things for some people in the military. I mean, people in the military go off and fight wars and come back broken, as I always say. And we fix them. Not 100% like they were before. They might get a prosthetic arm or leg or something else, but they're willing to deal with it. They're willing to deal with the problems that they have. Some get a home built for a Democrat. Built for a disabled. And I think we owe them that. I think we owe everybody in the military. When they get out, if they've served long enough, they're entitled to a military pension. They're also entitled to a job. And they speak English, and they write English, and they know English. So they can drive a truck if they want to. And you can learn to drive a truck. Don't tell me that no, you can't learn how to drive a truck. We used to take men and women that were scared to death of driving a limousine. I'd ride with them for a couple hours, and then I'd say, take the thing and go drive. And then bring me to drive with you. And no problem. I mean, I always used to tell people 9 and 12 on the steering wheel, or 9 and 3 on the steering wheel, while I had one hand at 6 o'clock on the steering wheel. Pulling that, listen to me and do as thee. Same kind of thing. But ladies who used to swear I could never drive something that big ended up driving 24 passenger shuttle buses. So don't tell me you can't get a job as an American citizen. I know that they're tough, but ICE is going in every day and cleaning house of illegal immigrants. So there's going to be jobs. Companies that are around the world are coming back to the United States. So there's going to be jobs. It might not be 100% the job that you want, but it's a job. And it might turn into what you want, but at least it's a job. Same thing with places to live. They're going and arresting illegal immigrants all the time. There's going to be a glut of housing. And there's going to be landlords like Michael who want to rent to you because you're not going to tear up their property. I say to people every day, pull your head out of your rectum and start living in the world. Yeah, it's screwed up, but we do our best to fix it for everybody. And we have some people that are really bad, like Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates and other people who want to do terrible things to your world, to do terrible things to you. Why? Because they want everything for themselves. Get on a rocket, take over one of the empty planets, and have that to yourself, if that's what you want. And take everybody with you who agrees with you. I said to someone the other day, I really don't want to hear any more about the vaccine. If you want it, take it. If you want your minor children to take it, give it to them. If you don't give it to them. There are reasons why on our side that it's a terrible thing. It will screw you up in ways you can never imagine. And you shouldn't be taking it. But if you want it, take it. Okay? Or be like me. I took it once. They discontinued it. Well, I took it once. Then I took the booster to it. And then they discontinued it. Which was okay because I wasn't going to take it anyway. I was spending time helping my mother out as best as I could. And my mother said that she was going to take it and she wanted me to take it because she didn't know or want to deal with anything that I could have brought into her house, her car, anything else that I could have brought with her from my home in Connecticut. She lived in Massachusetts. So it made sense to me to take it. Then when I was done helping my mother out, because we didn't move right away, but when I was done making that trip to my mother all the time to help her out, I said, I'm not taking it anymore. because I don't want to take it anymore. And people hear about the bad stuff that they pull from your body if you took it. I don't know. I don't see any of that. Or doctors are lying to me and not telling me what's inside my body. And in that case, they deserve not to be doctors anymore. And I can go off on that too. Why are you a doctor if the only thing you're looking for is getting bonuses and money from big pharma to carry whatever they tell you to carry to treat your patients? If you're not a doctor to fix problems that your patients have, then why are you a doctor? Because it's not about the free stuff. To me, it's not about the free stuff. And it shouldn't be about the free stuff. And it can kind of be a joke too. Because you talk to your doctor who puts you on a pill for something, and then you end up on a pill for something else associated with it, and something else, and then you end up taking enough pills that one pill counteracts another pill. Excuse me while I take my pills. Pills that make me have a better mood. Pills that help with my Parkinson's. Pills that help me with my dementia. At 8 o'clock at night, I take so many pills that, like I said, one pill counteracts what another pill takes. Really, the only pills I notice anything from is that the mood stabilizer does work and does keep me stabilized. And but probably only because I've taken it so long. And the cognitive pill and the Parkinson's pill. Because I know I'm better when I take that. So maybe Big Pharma did do something that gives me some good. But they're only in the money too. They're only in it for the money a lot of times too, because it costs so much to develop it that they're more interested in keeping you on something for the rest of your life than selling you the one cure, the one pill that might take care of the problem that you have. 54 minutes so far of raving lunatic madman Dave Glovin on Boogie with the Bull. Red Friday morning. That's Remember Everyone Deployed Friday morning caffeine. I'm drinking my caffeine as we go along. That's my salute to you, asking you, have a great weekend. Really. Do something you enjoy for a change. Do something with your family that you all enjoy. And if you live by yourself, find people to make your family for the weekend. And go do something you all enjoy. And if you go to a bar drinking because you all enjoy that, make sure one of you is sober to drive home. Or do it all at somebody's house where you can all sleep it off and then go home. I remember once getting in the limousine business. I've been told before I'm not supposed to talk about it. We did a wedding that the father of the groom, who had some alcoholism in his own and in his family, decided no one was going to drive to the wedding activities, and then home from the wedding. He was like President Trump. He was a real estate developer. I can't even say it, but you know what I mean. He owned several properties, so people were assigned where to go and park their car. There was 24-hour security while they were away, and then they were brought back to their car when it was time to go home. And if they weren't able to drive themselves home, we drove them home and picked them up the next morning to bring them back to their car, or someone to pick up their car and drive it home. 21 white stretch Lincolns we had, and we pulled it off without a hitch. I don't understand why, but we pulled it off without a hitch. And the dispatcher would have been with us, and I would have been out in the field, but the dispatcher was pregnant, and she welcomed the child into the world, and she was upset because she thought I would be angry that she couldn't be there. Because obviously I had to be in as dispatcher. And that was the hardest thing on me, pulling off something that I had been involved in every aspect of it, the planning of it, the practicing of it. But think like that. He actually did something good for the world, rather than these companies that hire illegal immigrants who don't speak, read, write English to drive a truck to deliver something that you need, and then get into accidents for whatever reason. I mean, and I understand people don't wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to get into an accident today on my driving job. But anyway, like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m., we come on, sometimes a little bit later, because we might face a last-minute technical issue that I can't remember how to fix, and I have to get it fixed before we come on. But I want to thank the people that restream, because they help me out to the best of their abilities, and eventually we do get something fixed. I think they're the best, they're the easiest to use. I won't name all the brands. You can go find all the brands. But I think they're the easiest to use, and it does cost money. At the lowest end, it will cost you about $19 a month. But if you want good, reliable, I'd give them a 98 out of 100. And that 2% really wasn't their fault. There was a outage along the way. Servers that Restream used or uses, they couldn't reach, so we couldn't be on. But they all got it fixed. And here we were. But anyway, I'm Dave Glovin. You're not. The Madman Ramble is just about over. Like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So adjust yourself accordingly. And select that. Slow down, Dave. Selected Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. We give you a chance to sleep in, because we like to sleep in. And Tuesday, Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern. But the only time you'll see us is when we have something to say, because I don't really want to just do it to do it. Just want to do it when we have something to say. So anybody is welcome to join me on any one of those broadcasts, the 8:30 a.m.s, the selected Saturdays at 10 a.m., the selected Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. We're looking for places to send it out as a podcast, because I don't have the skill and the equipment to add everybody live. So some places are just going to be a podcast. All over MeWe, it's a podcast. All over Gab, it's a podcast. All over Streetlock, it's a podcast. All over other places. And if you know of other places that you've watched it, so if you know other places on the internet that it could fit into, let me know, and I'll podcast it there. The other option is using the YouTube channel, but it requires a lot more setup, and I don't always wake up cognizant in the morning anyway, and it would take most of the 2 hours that I am trying to read stuff and look at stuff and listen to people to get ready. And we don't have an engineer that can do all of it for me. Why? Because it costs money to have a good person. We don't ask for your money. A lot of the other podcasts that you watch, they ask for your money. We don't ask for your money. It doesn't cost $19 a month right now because we're on free Restream, which is just as good as paid Restream for $19 a month. So, if that $19 a month is an issue for you, use free Restream because I think they're the best. Eventually, you'll want to use the $19 level, the next step up, because you get access to everything. I see everything still here on the free Restream, but I'm not supposed to tell you to use free Restream. I'm supposed to tell you to use Restream at $19 a month and then go up from there, depending on what you need. So use Restream at the $19 a month level and then go up from there if you need things on the higher levels. Or find the one that you want to use and use it, whether it's free or you have to pay. But my point was that we don't ask you for money because when I can't afford to do it anymore, I won't do it anymore. But, we don't ask you to buy a coffee cup. If you want to, they're $15 plus $5 for shipping. They look like, well, I'm going to make a mess because I use mine as a cup holder. They look like this. It's a truly bipartisan Boogie with the Bull uncensored mug. If you hold it in your right hand, everyone knows that you are a Republican and you take things the right way. Or if you hold it in your left hand, everyone knows you're a Democrat and you can do things that may not be the way you actually want to do it. Anyway, give me a minute while I put that down. And that deal is $15 plus $5 shipping for Democrats or $20 for Republicans. It takes a long time to get one made because the vendor that we use makes them one at a time. So it does take a little bit of time to get you one. About a month, really, I think. And if a lot of people want them and you want to buy one, we'll find a vendor to get them from faster. But it's not important. I'm drinking my coffee out of a thermal mug right now because I like drinking it out of a thermal mug right now. If it doesn't have a lid on top, there's a chance I could spill it. And of course, I don't want to spill it. I've killed a Windows 11 Pro laptop with all the bells and whistles because what I had before just needed to be updated. But the Windows 11 Pro was updated. It got coffee spilled all over it 3 times in a row. And that's 3 times in a row. Same hand, 3 times, the same moment. Probably due to the Parkinson's in me. But now we are blessed with the Dell laptop, which I put in a box 4 years ago. And I'll tell you that story later. You heard that story later. but we're happy, and we're using it the way that we should use it. So again, if you have something that you think you need to say to people, whether it is political or not, ask me for a time that you can come on, or ask me for a broadcast that you can come on, or simply come into the live chat and tell me you want to come on. Okay? Musicians are welcome. The only thing I ask of musicians is that you play originals that you own and you distribute. So that way I don't have to deal with Facebook wanting to complain that we're using copyrighted music and the rights belong to somebody else. Been there, done that. What happens usually is the record companies turn us off in Belize and 13 other countries that nobody has ever heard of. And I don't even like that happens. So that's the only rule there. You want to talk about cars one day? You're a mechanic? Come on in. If you like a particular car, come on in. I like classic Mercedes. Everyone knows that. I sent my former partner a picture of a classic Mercedes that I would add to the fleet if I was still driving. That's one of the biggest things I miss, and we'll talk about that at a later time of day. 1 hour and 7 minutes, and I hope we kept you on the edge of your seat the entire time on this Boogie with the Bull Red Friday Morning Caffeine. I'm Dave Glovin. You're not. I'm going to give you the double B's for victory, that this Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. We'll hit that one. We'll come over here. And before I hit this one, and it finally ends, we may try the multiple boogies in one day format again today. Every few hours, we won't make them right on top of each other, but if we hear something or see something, we will come on and tell you something every few hours. Today, it's Friday, and we have the opportunity to go live at about 7 p.m. So tonight, if there's interest, we will do it's Friday, what the hell, Boogie with the Bull broadcast at 7 p.m. Eastern, if there are people that want to come and join it. I don't want to be on by myself. I don't think I need to be on by myself. Okay, and it will be live on several places, because if we do it, I will break the rules. I said it's a little bit above my pay grade to set it up. I can set it up so that it is live using YouTube on multiple places. So if there are people interested in talking, you can talk about everything. Everybody gets a turn to talk. Everybody gets appreciated for whatever they bring to that broadcast. There's no fighting. There's no arguing. If you don't like someone else who is on, well, then your choice is not to come on, or to come on and at least get along with that person during the time of the broadcast. And then if you want to go back to hating each other at the end, you are more than welcome to pick up your hatred and take it out of my green room. Anyway, have a classic Dave Glovin. Let's get this weekend started Friday. Fantastic Friday. Had a great time Saturday and Sunday. And if you don't see us, we will be back Monday morning at 8:30 for Boogie with the Bull. That's an Eastern time, so adjust yourself accordingly.